Yesterday, we received guidance from the Florida Department of Education by Richard Corcoran, our commissioner. And I want to read for you, and I will have copies for you as well, what the commissioner wrote. In an email dated July 16th, 2019, to Cynthia Saunders, our superintendent, Dave Minor, our board chair, CC to Ed Brodsky, our state attorney, as well as other individuals up at the DOE, subject Lincoln Memorial Academy. Superintendent Saunders and Board Chair Minor, I write with a sense of urgency to the Manatee County Superintendent of Schools and the Manatee County School Board to address an issue that threatens the health, safety, and welfare of students within your district. It gives me great concern to know that Eddie Hundley, an individual whose Florida Educator Certificate has been revoked for issues related to the safety of students, continues to serve in an administrative capacity at Lincoln Memorial Academy, a charter school sponsored by your district. Mr. Hundley deliberately facilitated the continued exposure of students to an individual against whom repeated allegations have been lodged of inappropriate contact and relationships with underage female students, and who is currently facing criminal prosecution as a result. The Department of Education took swift action against Mr. Hundley's teaching certificate with the expectations that he would no longer be in a position to put Florida students in harm's way. In January of this year, an administrative law judge determined that Mr. Hundley failed to protect the health, safety, and welfare of students, that he lied, and that he had lost credibility as an effective educator. It is unacceptable that Mr. Hundley continues to be employed as an educator, and I wholeheartedly support action by the district to rectify this situation by making every effort to have Mr. Hundley relieved of all responsibilities with Lincoln Memorial Academy. The commissioner goes on. On May 13th, 2019, the Education Practices Commission issued a final order immediately revoking Eddie Hundley's teaching certificate for a period of 5 years, stripping him of all rights of a Florida certified educator and legally precluding him from holding a position, whether paid or voluntary, that brings him onto a public school's campus while students are present. Lincoln Memorial Academy's continued employment of Mr. Hundley flies in the face of all efforts to provide a safe and secure learning environment of all students. I urge you as superintendent and school board members to address the serious issues of Lincoln Memorial Academy aggressively with all due haste. In addition to an ongoing threat to the health, safety, and welfare of Lincoln Memorial Academy students, the school is in a precarious financial state that requires the intervention of the district and perhaps eventually the Commissioner of Education. Not only has the school overspent its funds, but it is in arrears on payments to the Florida retirement system by approximately $60,000. The district has recognized that the school is in a deteriorating financial condition as defined by Section 1002.345, 1A and C of the Florida statutes and 6A 1-0081 Florida Administrative Code, and that the school's actual expenses have exceeded its budget expenses for at least 3 consecutive months without sufficient reserves to compensate. Lincoln Memorial Academy's budget shortfalls for February 2019 was $136,508. In March 2019, it's $130,239. April, it's $235,438. In May, it's 2019, it's $251,430. Are unacceptable, and I commend the efforts of the superintendent and school board members to seek full accounting and to pursue a workable plan for solvency. I offer the resources of the Department of Education to assist in this effort and remain ready to intervene should I determine that action to be necessary and required by statute. And the commissioner goes on. A review of the figures provided by Lincoln Memorial Academy to the Manatee County School Board reveals that the school has budgeted an extraordinary portion of its funds for administrative costs. Lincoln's Memorial Academy's budgeted administrative costs of 31% of their budget, but actually 41% for these costs, when compared to the administrative costs for districts in Manatee County of approximately 12% of the budget. The Lincoln Memorial Academy spending for administrators is not only disproportionate, but it suggests waste, mismanagement, and possibly fraud. For the majority of the school year, Mr. Hundley was certified and legally held the position of principal of the school. Since the revocation of Mr. Hundley's teaching certificate on May 13th of this year, it has been illegal for him to hold this position. Given that the financial deterioration of the school occurred on Mr. Hundley's watch, and that he is now unable to legally hold a position within that school that would allow him to be effective in its operation, it becomes readily apparent that the school's relationship with Mr. Hundley should be severed, and no additional school funds should be allocated for his services. I support and encourage the removal of Mr. Hundley from Lincoln Memorial Academy, and I suspect that the school will not be able to recover financially or otherwise until this happens. I further encourage the Manatee County Superintendent and School Board to work with Lincoln Memorial Academy's governing board to pursue a plan that includes district control in the school while fiscal stability is achieved without interruption to the education of Lincoln Memorial Academy students. Given the urgency of Lincoln Memorial Academy's financial situation, if I do not receive a corrective action plan that the school and the governing board agree upon by Wednesday, July 24th, 2019, I will immediately establish a plan in keeping with the requirements of Section 1002.345 Florida statutes. And finally, as he closes, he says to the district, I applaud your efforts to work with the school to come to an agreement on a corrective action plan for the school. I am disappointed in the lack of cooperation from Lincoln Memorial Academy up to this point, but I'm optimistic that with the hard work of the district and the encouragement of the Department of Education, a path forward that focuses on the best interests of the students can be developed.